Hi everybody. This is not a serious video. You know, we all need a break from the drama that's going on around us. And we all need to stop for 5 minutes fighting the battles in our head. Because really, that's the only way we can fight these battles right now. Because all these battles around us are actually being fought at higher levels than we have access to. And if you're doing your prepping and everything, and you're already doing it, just keep doing it, but don't fret about it, because worry doesn't change a situation. But let's just take a break today, and let's do something I've seen other people do on other channels, and you may not want to have anything to do with this, but you know, there was a thing going around a while back, and I don't know if people are still doing it, 30 things that you don't know about me. Or 30 things about me. Now some of these I may have mentioned in passing, but I have a lot of new subscribers and they probably don't know these things about me. I may not care, I don't know, but what is these hair? Got hair in front of my face. It's breezy today and it's cold, but and yes, I'm wearing the same thing I wore the last time I was out here because it was warm. I had it on already. I was about to take it off because I was warm. So I want to do 30 things that you may not know about me. And let's see, if I probably haven't said a lot about some of these, but number one, I was actually born in Coral Gables, Florida, to a well-off family in the funeral industry. I was given up for adoption and adopted at 3 days old, and that in itself, that whole story would take up an entire hour-long video, so we won't go any further into that one. I grew up in Decatur, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, from the time I was about a year old. I actually skipped a grade, and I actually skipped my junior year of high school, and I graduated at 16 years old. Gosh, limbs are falling off trees over there, sorry. I went to high school with and was a peripheral friend of Mark David Chapman. Of course, he wasn't called Mark David Chapman in high school, it was just Mark Chapman, the killer of John Lennon. And that murder happened about the time I'd been married about 5 years, and we were living in Dayton, Ohio at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Last time I saw Mark, we were in college, and he saw me at a mall, a local mall in Decatur, and he called my name across the parking lot, called me over, and he talked for a couple minutes, and he said he was moving to Hawaii. And that's the last time I ever talked to Mark Chapman. He was incredibly nice to me, very kind person. So what happened? You know, people have their secrets. I don't know. I met my husband in college. I met him at West Georgia College. We became engaged in 3 weeks. We were married in 2 months, which was actually 2 weeks past my 19th birthday. Of course, we're still married. I've lived in Colorado, Utah twice, and Dayton, Ohio for almost 12 years while we were in the Air Force. One of my sons was born in Colorado, one was born in Utah. I rode with the Christian Motorcyclist Association. Yeah, I rode with the biker gang. And I was actually a public relations officer for a while. But yeah, we rode with CMA for a while in Dayton, Ohio. The local chapter was called the Hallelujah Riders. That was fun. Number 8, I carry the gene for hemochromatosis. It's where the liver retains too much iron, and the only treatment for that is you have to basically have blood given every once in a while to bleed off blood and get rid of some of the iron in your system. I found that out by accident when I did Ancestry DNA, and eventually I found an aunt, the much younger sister of my biological mother, who didn't even know that her father was my grandfather. My grandfather was quite the philanderer. And she had a fake name on her birth certificate for a father, a man that didn't exist. And through clues that she was given, anyway, there's another long story. But she has hemochromatosis. She has the actual condition. And so she got it through our grandfather, my grandfather, her father, and so I had myself tested, and I'm just a carrier of the gene. I don't have the condition. Number 9, I was a sign language teacher in adult classes at night at the local high school. 10, Castleiter, also called Castleiter, I-T-T-E-R, a famous castle in Austria, belonged to my biological family. My great-grandmother was an Itter. Alice Moretta Itter was my great-grandmother. Her brother was a semi-famous artist, Julian Itter. There's another artist with a similar name, but this is I-T-T-E-R, Julian Itter. Now the castle belongs to a private owner and is closed to the public, but I think it was a Nazi prison camp. So we do have a family castle. My son, I have one of my son's shirts that he got at the Renaissance Festival, and it says, "My castle's bigger than your castle." And I got that a long time ago. Now when I pulled it out one day, I went, "Hey, I do have a castle." It was really funny. Number 11. I never had any interest in being a grandmother, having grandchildren. I mean, as in, I really don't want to be a grandmother. I don't romanticize motherhood or grandmotherhood. I've always been like that, actually, still am. For a long time I didn't want to have any children, but yeah, I just don't have any interest in having grandchildren. Number 12. I hate country music. Old-fashioned and newfangled. I hate all country music. Actually, I prefer quiet to any music, which is strange because number 13, in college when I met my husband, I was a music major and I played classical piano. Number 14, I've never had a manicure. You can probably tell from my fingernails. Number 15, I never wear dresses. I'm not even sure I still own any. 16, I've worn glasses since I was 10 and I'm legally blind without them. 17, my family raised AKC Dobermans when I was a child. I grew up with only Dobes. That's the only kind of dog I ever had when I was growing up. I mean, we had cats and parakeets and fish and ponies and a horse, but no, only had Dobermans. 18, I've never lived out of this country and I have no desire to travel. No interest at all. 19, I don't like rabbits. Wild rabbits are okay. I like wild rabbits. I've rescued quite a few little bunnies from my cat. One he brought in the house. I like wild ones, but the kind that people keep for livestock, they creep me out. I don't like rabbits. I don't want to handle rabbits. I don't like their eyes, and I don't like the way they eat. They creep me out. So, yeah, it's one of my weird things. I just don't like rabbits. Okay, so sue me. I share a birthday with both the Guyana Tragedy, you know, Jim Jones, the Guyana Tragedy, and Mickey Mouse. Boy, that's kind of schizo, huh? 21. All of our parents, my husband and myself, were in the military, except for our biological mothers. My adoptive parents were both military. My mother was a Marine, my father was in the Navy. And she met my adoptive father after her fiance was killed in World War II. 22. I don't like the ocean. I mean, I like it okay, but I don't like flat land. I don't like where you can see for miles. I don't like flat land. I mean, when they can see you. I don't mind seeing for miles if I'm hidden, like up in the mountains where you can see long distance from the top of a mountain. But I don't like flat lands, so I don't like the ocean. I'm a mountain girl, through and through. Number 23. I had a pony named Princess and a horse, a gelding, that I named Robert Redford because he was a sorrel, so he had red hair. Kind of looked like Robert Redford to me. My grandfather always insisted on calling him Bob, so he called him Bob. Kind of pedestrian after being named Robert Redford, right? 24. Now most of you know this. I have a titanium plate with 5 screws in one ankle bone and 2 long screws in another bone. The x-ray looks like I had a fight with a nail gun. Like I lost a fight with a nail gun. Number 25. 2 of my ancestors were on the actual Mayflower in 1620. One was my 10th great-grandfather, George Soule, S-O-U-L-E. And he was 18 at the time when he came over on the Mayflower. 26. I've never been called Cindy. My dad hated when people assumed that that was my name. He'd always correct them. My grandfather, whose farm that I spent a lot of time on, always called me Symphony. Always, Symphony. 27. Once when my family was on vacation, we had to be evacuated from the Howard Johnsons in the middle of the night because of a fire in the building. It turned out that it was just somebody had thrown a cigarette on a mattress, and it was smoking in the hallway, and so I was sneezing black soot for days after that. All our clothes were black in the suitcases. 28. I have zero mercy for liars or for anybody who neglects or abuses animals. Period. 29. I don't allow smoking on my property, even outside. I loathe cigarettes, and so does my husband, after losing so many very close relatives to COPD and lung cancer, and I think I'm about to lose, and two other people have COPD now, and I don't allow cigarettes on this property. And the last one, besides Georgia, I've owned property in 3 states, Ohio, Utah, and Tennessee. So that's the 30, boring as they are. But I did want to say one more thing, though, about, you know, we're all fighting these battles in our head every day, and my YouTube feed is just full of, you know, it's so scary, and we have these victories, and now we've gotten these problems, and it's up, it's down, it's here, it's there, and doom and one particular channel is doom and gloom all the time. Scary as heck. It's like, I don't know if I even want to listen to his video anymore, because there's one guy's like, everything is doom and gloom. And there is a lot of doom and gloom going on. But worrying about the doom and gloom, just worrying about it, it doesn't change what's happening. My friend Rachel said a while back, she said, I kind of wish that they would just not tell us what was going on right now. She said, it doesn't change anything, and it just makes us insane, just makes us crazy. I mean, and she has a point. It's all going to play out anyway without any of our input, because we have no input and we have no power. Most of the people I'm talking to out here have no input and no power. Apparently, even our vote doesn't have any power, especially not with the systems that have been apparently in place for longer than any of us knew. And, you know, there's really nothing you can do about it. So, in all the chaos, take a mental health break. Just take a mental health break. That's why I decided to just do this sort of semi-fun thing, just the 30. I've never done the 30 things challenge thing. I've never done that. I mean, I've had this channel for 8 years and I've never done that. And I thought, well, I don't know. Can I even think of 30 things? Craziest thing is that, you know, oh good, I know a killer. Woohoo. But, you know, in the family history, I could go on for an hour about just the family history stuff. But, you know, take a mental health break. Think about the things that you can't change. Change what you can. Draw a circle around your perimeter, your property lines, and think, what can I change inside this perimeter? And I have coined a phrase. I've never heard anybody else use it. I don't know if anybody else uses it. It's called mind your mountain. Draw your perimeter. What can you change and what can you improve inside your perimeter? Mind your mountain. because your mountain's the only thing you got anything you can do anything about. It's the only thing you can control is what goes on inside your own perimeter. If you're well on your way to prepping and you got your supplies and everything, you're doing pretty good. Just keep buying a few things as you can. Keep buying your supplies, keep upping your security, but don't stress about it, don't fret about it, because you're already way ahead of the game of most people. I would advise you to go look at a video I'm going to link up there called The Top 10 People Who Are Going to Die in SHTF by Pinball Preparedness. That's a really good video. He categorizes a lot of people, and I commented on that. You know, but see, are you one of those people? I'm not really one of those people. So I feel like I'm doing all right. And that might help you see where your weaknesses are, where you need to improve. But don't stress about it. It's easier said than done. I get that. But you know, you really need to think, all this stuff I'm worrying about, all these I'm fighting in my head, battles that other people are really actually fighting, but my fighting is not actually doing anything. It's just raising my blood pressure and clenching my gut up and giving me headaches and insomnia. So we need to take a mental health break. So y'all take a mental health break and go watch Pinball's video about that and see if you're any of one of those 10 people. And if you're not, you're good. See y'all later.